Hello friends, today we are going to talk about the virtual wire interfaces. As you all know, this is the sixth session of our Palo Alto Firewall lecture series, and during this lockdown we have covered whole many lot of concept with different firewalls, but this is the dedicated series for the Palo Alto firewall with the PAN OS version 9.0, and today is the sixth session where we are going to discuss about the virtual wire type of interface. In the previous session we have talked layer 3 type of interface, and in this session we are explicitly covering the virtual wire interfaces. So when we talk about the virtual wire interface, what does it really mean? It is essentially means that it is a transparent mode of the firewall, like it doesn't require any kind of IP addresses to be configured on the interfaces, because essentially it doesn't do anything related to the routing and switching. But what are the features that it can do when the interfaces or the firewall is configured in virtual wire mode, and what are the benefits and what are the use case scenarios when we as a company would like to deploy a firewall or the interfaces, particularly in the virtual wire mode. So let's begin and talk about one by one. So I would like to just brief you about how it does look in the deployment. So essentially this is the Palo Alto Networks doc site, where you will have documentation for each and every concepts in the Palo Alto firewall, and you can Google out here and you will have the ton of documentation. So we are just only referring to the official diagram from the Palo Alto itself. So it is something like the firewall act as a bridge in between two L3 devices, essentially connecting them over a virtual wire, or we can say a logical wire, which doesn't do any routing or switching functions, but it essentially does a hell lot of functions which is required from a security point of view. So what are the functions that a Palo Alto does when the interfaces are in virtual wire deployment? So it does scans your policy, it does check for your app ID, content ID, user ID, it also does the decryption, it passes the LLDP packets, it can act as active passive or active deployment mode. It can apply your QoS policies, you can apply some zone protection profiles. So if you remember, we have talked about zone protection in our lecture number 2. So non-IP protocol protection, so that means if your company is the legacy company and running the protocols prior to the IP protocol invention, like AppleTalk or maybe IBM NSX protocol or something, then such protocol can be protected as well. So DOS protection, we have talked about this in earlier our lectures. Packet buffer protection, this is the new concept, and we will be covering this concept in a different session. Tunnel content inspection, so this essentially talk about your GRE tunnel. It does not talk about your IPsec tunnel, because when your firewall or your interfaces are in the virtual wire, you won't be having the functionality of the VPN, any kind of VPN, be it site to site or be it SSL VPN or Global Protect remote site VPN. In case of Palo Alto, you can do NAT as well in virtual wire deployment. So essentially we don't need to configure any L2 or L3 IP addresses to the wire. We just take one cable from one of the interfaces of Palo Alto and connect it to the neighboring L3 device. So I would like to tag this as a consider this L3 device as a core switch, and this as your regular firewall or your router. And what the fact is, you don't want to change the IP address of the configuration, change the network configuration, just to test the firewall, what kind of filtration or what kind of abilities that the firewall is holding. before you put the firewall into the L3 deployment. Because if you put the firewall in L3, then you need to change the lot of things. You need to change the routing, you need to change the IP addresses, you need to change the routing configuration on both of these ends of the device. So what I want is leverage the features that we have talked about, like NATing, inspection, identification of the users, applications with the help of app ID, content ID, and user ID. I want to do the decryption, but I don't want to change my networking related information or the configuration that is there on the core switch or the internet facing router. So in such a scenario, we will be deploying our Palo Alto in virtual wire deployment. So we can do NATing as well. So essentially it is bump in the wire, as Palo Alto says, and what it essentially does is they take the packets from the one interface, scans it if you have the policies configured, and send it across the other interface. So let's go into some more details. How does the virtual wire interface type handles different types of scenarios? So here they are saying about that you don't need to essentially configure the L2 or L3 information like IP address or the VLAN information or something, because it doesn't deals with it. And it also talks about that virtual wire deployment interfaces need interfaces that need to support the switching and VPN tunnels or the routing. They don't support, actually. You won't use the virtual wire deployment for the interfaces that need support switching, because we are not configuring any kind of L2 or L3 information out there. So because if you want to take the access of your firewall through a virtual wire interface, then you need to apply L3 information to the interface, because it needs to have an IP address. Because to access a firewall with the help of web UI, you need to have the IP address, and in virtual wire we are not having any IP addresses to your virtual wire interface. So now this is something really advanced topic, when this is something is talking about the secure group tags in Cisco, usually found in the ICE environment. And now we are talking about other things in detail. So how L2 and L3 packets flow will happen over the virtual wire, port speeds, LLDP, how it works on the virtual wire, aggregated interfaces. It is a bit complicated. Virtual wire support for the high availability, because these 2 points are really only 0.1% happens in life. But we'll talk about this, because I'm not sure about how much I can simplify those terms, unless and until you might have tried them in lab or in real life. I would rather encourage you to do it if you have it, because it takes some hands-on practical things to work on to get these thoroughly understand. Zone protection for the virtual wire interface. Zone protection we have talked about for the L3 interfaces as well, like reconnaissance attack, DDoS protection and everything. VLAN tag traffic. This essentially is telling us about the VLAN tags over the virtual wire is deployed, that if one of the devices connects to the other devices, both are working in L2 mode and they are transparently sending their data in L2 mode, like VLANs. Then if I want to filter out traffic for some VLANs, then you can apply filters on the virtual wire to allow specific VLANs to be traversed over the virtual wire. This is similar like VTP pruning. If you do not want to send the data of VLANs to the other switch, then you can prune the VLANs. Here you can specify that what kind of VLANs will traverse from your virtual wire setup. And the last thing is configuration of the virtual wire, and we'll go up into that a bit more detail. We'll stop here and then we'll continue further.